right? How many black men the Chaldean community got to pay them to use their bars?
Courtney, we're going to talk about
Anything more?
an interesting, more than interesting, a fascinating character and kind of a insight into a different component of not just the streets, but of the economy of Black America. So while, as we know, unfortunately, one of the first big ways Black people were able to get money was some underworld activities. You're business partners with the guy, Mr. Moore, who's a real Wall Street wizard, owns a lot of property here in Detroit, but also had some friendships with some people. Very, very fascinating. What do you want to tell us about Mr. Moore?
All right, so first shout out to the big OG, for real, for real, for real. You know, he is the Dundada of this town. I mean, everybody who think they got some money in this town, and that's going from all the supposed black fancy bankers that went to Harvard and U of M to all the brothers right here thinking they moving the bag. I ain't putting his business out there. Mr. Moore buy all of them, and they wouldn't even know that he's missing a dime. So, for real, he buy all of them and not even notice. You know. And so let me just be street with it. He the Chaldean's boss. So all y'all running around here chasing Habibi, he the one who owned the shit Habibi got, and you just don't know it, right? How many black men the Chaldean community got to pay them to use their bars? So you be thinking this, but that ain't who bar that is.
So we don't get into what the places are, but some of these strip clubs, all kind of places.
All kind of places. Your strip clubs, strip malls.
So he's got white faces for his stuff.
I mean,
or if you consider Chaldean's white.
He been getting money. So the way our paths crossed, there was a big real estate broker by the name of Matt Frederick, rest in peace. Matt Frederick worked for a big real estate company called French Realty back in the 70s. French Realty is who all the big guys, Eddie Jackson, Leroy Cannon, all the heavy hitters from the 70s used this guy's real estate service. He's the one guy got Eddie the house and property in Southfield.
Because he would run interference with the feds, or just
he would, back then a house that went up for sale, you couldn't put up for sale signs in Southfield back in the day.
So you had to know about it.
You had to know about it. Those properties like that Eddie got on Hamilton, where we were just at on Geneva, 6 Mile in Hamilton, Geneva in Hamilton, Oakman and Ewall Circle. Back in them days, they didn't put for sale signs on them kind of properties. If you didn't know they was on the market. Matt Frederick, friends of the old man and Eddie, and French, would know about these properties, and they know the owners. A lot of them, to be honest, in the Jewish community, they find out that these properties were for sale, and they had a cash buyer and all of the above, and deals got made. So Matt Frederick, friend of our family and Eddie's father, there's an up and coming guy in the 70s by the name of Eugene Moore, who went to school down at Tennessee State, was I think one of the first black foremen or plant managers at Ford Motor Company.
He got a big lawsuit?
Got a lawsuit.
Like a racism?
Something like that. One of the big, so in fact, he's gonna get on the pod and actually talk about that. He's got the documents of it. So this guy, this term hustler that's used now, back in the day, the term hustler did not mean you necessarily were involved in narcotics.
Or crime
at all. So like some real inspirational motivation. This guy, he's getting a good check from Ford. He's cutting grasses, doing construction. This man worked for Ford for 7 years and never cashed a check.
Oh, wow.
He banked his salary for 7 years. Ends up then, and he was he knew early in life he wanted to be really rich. Right? So he bankrolls he never spends any of his money from Ford, lives off of his side hustles. Starts buying properties. You got to remember now, this is late 60s, early 70s. Detroit is on sale.
This white flight time.
White flight time.
But still a lot of nice stuff.
Still a lot of nice stuff. Starts accumulating holdings all up and down 6 Mile, in particular from Livernois to Hamilton.
That's a lot. If you're not from Detroit, that's a mile and a half. That ain't a couple blocks.
Starts buying apartment buildings, right? Then he starts to venture into the bar business. Some of the bars he's owned have been involved in the ownership. Detroit famous bars like Teresa's Lounge, Juanita's, Wall Street, Platinum, which is now Sweet Soul Bistro, all again. Yeah, all of that 6 Mile, Schaefer corridor area, bars up and down Plymouth. The Lodge. A lot of them bars on Michigan Avenue. The famous strip club back in the day, Tony Julian's.
Oh, that was his?
Yeah, man. That's him and Otis. Yeah.
Otis.
No, not Otis the lawyer. Otis Stanley, the street guy.
Oh, Tony Julian's was it. My father used to play chess there in the 80s.
That's right. Tony Julian's was his.
For those who don't know, this was a strip club right on 7 Mile and Lodge.
Institution. It was a Detroit institution.
When did that finally close and why they took the license?
No, this boy don't lose. The opposite.
Is that where the KFC
He got all the liquor licenses. No, right now on Tony Julian's, you're at the Lodge, and that would be the southeast corner.
Southeast. Okay.
Southeast corner.
What's there?
A sign that says no dumping, owned by Hartford Church.
Oh, he gave it to Hartford Church?
He didn't give it to him. He sold it to us. Yeah.
Hartford Memorial, one of the biggest black churches in the country.
Yeah. And because he still owns Wall Street, which is right down the street from there. So again, he sold probably only 5% of all his real estate holdings that he ever accumulated.
Oh.
So his portfolio, and hence the name of his club, Wall Street.
And he made a lot of money on Wall Street.
Let's just say he started buying companies like Ford, Apple, Microsoft. He started accumulating his positions in those companies in the 80s. So anybody who followed any of this, if you started putting money into Apple
and Microsoft
in the 80s and you never sold a share,
and you didn't even have many in your very well.
Right, and let's say these were dividend stocks and you never took the dividends, you just let your dividends reinvest. Those who know anything about the laws of compounding interest or stock accumulation.
As opposed to the laws of spending every penny you get.
Right. And now, he got all the toys, even though if you saw him, you would think he was the painter of his building. He got Bentleys, he got Rolls Royces, got
very low key.
Got $1 million homes off of lakes and all that shit. Those who know, no, I ain't saying nothing.
But people don't know.
That those who know. You know what I mean? Now,
and he's not a guy ever been under indictment, probably never been under investigation. He's not a criminal.
He's not a criminal. But what he was is a real guy. So if you was from the streets, you wanted to get into the bar business, and you had the money to lease one of his properties, and he wasn't gonna play games with you. You can't get a liquor license, but you wanted to do real business, he'd fuck with you. He ain't never played that I'm all of this, I'm educated, I don't deal with you kind of people. No, if you had some bread and you were about your business, he'd do business with you, which is kind of how the streets name kind of got, because he was willing to do business with any kind of people. So we know him from being kids out there in Northland Gardens.
But again, he was never doing business with any knowing criminals, just people maybe who were going to have a hard time getting on the board, but he was not privy to any.
He wasn't. No, he didn't
have no conversation.
Right, and that's where the streets got it all. People be like, he got his money from them street niggas. No, that's not it. He got his money by being incredibly financially disciplined and savvy and strategic. And by the time he started buying Bentleys and Rolls Royces, he had already banked it. That wasn't even right. And then so many people hate on the man. I hate to say it because in our culture we just are unfamiliar with those kind of attributes that it just be beyond people's comprehension.
Big Boss Filmworks and Big Boss Books presents Courtney Robert Brown Jr.'s follow-up to the book Motown Mafia. Motown Mafia, Big Man on Campus.
My internship was kind of in how the world of international finance and international criminal activities overlap.
Corey Black Sr. wanted Corey to go to school to bring legitimacy to the family. But Corey had other plans. While in college, with the help of his friends and his girlfriend, he starts and grows a successful drug operation.
5 minutes later, two agents, now I know they were agents, but at the time I see two guys go to the right, another two guys start walking towards me. They stop at my seat and they go, "Grab your bags, DEA, come with us." Needless to say, this is not the fun part of being an intern.
Corey finds himself conflicted with his responsibility to running the family business and his obligation to his college studies. However, he'll have to make things work in his favor if he wants to remain the big man on campus. The names have been changed to protect the guilty and the innocent.
And I'm taking economics and business 101 and marketing, and your economic teacher's telling you about a business plan and how you get a small business loan. And, it's kind of the hypocrisy of the world, because I'm like, that ain't how the real world works.